Hey, Liron here. I want to share with you what I believe is one of the best exercises for beginners to improve your overall composition, your flow, and to start hitting that professional level. I know it may seem or sound very far away to you, but this is one of those little magic bullets that can help you get there. There is a way to get there, and I want to help show you what it is. So this is called the thumbnails exercise. What we're actually doing here is practicing painting just like a real full-fledged painting. The only difference is we're going to do it really small. One of the things I don't really like about a lot of watercolor exercises is how they are very different from painting a full scene. It's like entering a different mode, and it doesn't ultimately train you to just actually paint a watercolor. And this one does, which is why I wanted to show you, because we're going to treat this beautiful scene here, the first one we're going to work on, just like a complete painting. The only real difference is that it's small. And so this almost forces you to not really be too bogged down by the details. I would challenge you to actually print out your reference photo and hold it in front of you in a very small size to start with. You just want a very small thing to work off of so that even if you try, you can't see most of the details. That to me is the key. Even if you would want to overwork it, you can't because you don't have anything to overwork. All you're seeing is the main large shapes like I'm seeing here. So what are we seeing? We're seeing the sky. We're seeing this little hint of a horizon. And then right from there, we're starting to hit these beautiful bright green yellows, mostly yellows to be honest with you here. So I'm just digging through my relatively light lemon yellow paint, and look, just applying the paint to the paper. Nothing is fancy here. I'm not using any fancy techniques or anything that is beyond your skill or anything like that. That's the beauty of painting this way, that it's very accessible. And look, I'm working slowly, right? I'm not really working fast. Look at how short of a process this is, how quick it is. You see, this is super quick, and you can iterate fast, and you can, let's add a bit of warmth here up to the top, and you can make changes fast and improve your result and improve the impression really fast, even if you just do another attempt after this one, right? So you see you got this beautiful composition, a lot of flowers mostly here in the middle. We even have this beautiful drop there that almost feels like a bit of a moonlight, if I'm being honest with you. That was an unexpected bonus. And for the next one, I'm going to hold everything a little closer to you. I want you to really see, but just, see this. Very straightforward. Anyone can do this. You can even kind of play with the angle a bit just to tilt it backwards to maybe help the paint move a little bit. If you want to push it towards a more natural kind of green, you can also do that if you wish. Just add a bit of whatever color that feels a little more natural to you. But look at this, just a wonderful impression. It took like what, 3 minutes? I don't know, something like that. Okay, let's do another one. Now this one's a little more interesting, and I will create a sketch. So before I pick up the paper, I'll just show you a real light sketch. I have been there. This is in Patagonia in South America. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. All of this, road and the mountains and areas there. Actually, really nice views, both in Argentina and in Chile. Some argue which one is prettier, but it's a useless argument in my opinion. It's just both such beautiful views. Now, look, I can work on a composition in a very small size, and what I'm thinking here is, let's make this very uneven, right? So I'm making the distances uneven. Let's in fact make this a little smaller just to break it off even more. With nature, you want to mostly avoid patterns. If you can avoid patterns, it will look supernatural. Super hyphen natural, not supernatural. Okay, even though there is the whole UFO release now, so UFO information release, but we're not talking about that. Okay, let me clean this area up because I want to show you something. One really cool thing about the composition here is these peaks and areas that are hit by sunlight. So let's get some kind of a bright, nice orange on our palette. And despite this being a thumbnail exercise, doesn't mean you have to paint it all in one go. You can do what I'm doing right now, which is paint small areas, like so, just to establish, see? Just to establish where the key kind of highlights are gonna be. I'll put like a sliver here too. And then you can just start painting around that. Right now, you do want maybe to make sure that things don't flow too much together and all of that good stuff. That's fine. What I'm going to do is actually mix a bit of opaque blue here. This is my cobalt blue. It is PB29 and PW6, so pigment blue and pigment white. And let's see if we can carefully introduce a bit of these without having the orange compromise too much. Okay, so I'm essentially filling in the areas around with this quite a bit of milky blue, which I think, by the way, might benefit from adding a bit of violet to it too. So let's add a bit of violet here. See? And if you feel like, you know, it doesn't work and you want to just let it dry first, you can just take a break. But I think I'm gonna manage here, see? Especially here. Now, this is a little more gray. Let me put this down. I'll mix the two a little bit more together. There is gonna be another wash for shadows, so don't worry. This is just establishing the key shapes, because what you want ultimately is to show not only that this is a warm temperature, but you also want it to be lighter, okay? So this is kind of a first go. And then, you know, even before it dries, you can start establishing the sky if you really want. So let me mix a bit of blue here. Now notice how I don't care that my colors mix. It's okay, it makes it look more organic, if anything. So I'm fine with the ultramarine having a bit of everything else in it, right? Now let's see if this color even makes sense. I'll add a bit of phthalo to it. Feels like it could be a little more lively, okay? Now, don't worry if it doesn't feel like there's a strong separation right now between the sky and the mountains. We will create that separation, okay? Once we darken some areas in the mountains. That's the beauty of watercolor, really. The effect compounds over multiple washes, right? And when you paint such a tiny thumbnail scene, the technique becomes less important sometimes, you know? You can just kind of get things on paper first and only then start thinking, okay, how do I, you know, you don't have to have graceful transitions. It's not a large wash that you need to handle. It's very simple. Let me show you up close once again. And then on top of this thing, you know, I would argue, let's not even let it dry. Let's just go ahead and add a bit of our blue and a bit of our violet once again. I think because this is such a small piece of paper, we can kind of get away with just going straight for it. So look, let's see what happens. So I'm going to start establishing the darker darks on these mountains while skipping the orange areas, right? Those are our highlights. There's a purpose for them here. See? So this goes here. Of course, the shapes are a little more refined. There's a bit more details to them, but I'm, you know, doing as they say in tech, the minimum viable product. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but it does have to tell the story, right? And ooh, there's a beautiful, oh, I actually painted over a highlight here. It's not the end of the world. I could try to lift it a bit, but you know, it's fine. Oh, we got a cloud behind the mountain. That's fine. Again, this is the beauty of thumbnails. It really doesn't matter. And there's a strong shadow here too. And now we're getting to this area where we do have some detail. So we can just use a bit of dark, a bit of black paint here to neutralize and to get this to look a little more like the actual colors. I'm actually seeing a bit of warm hints here too, but we don't even have to include it. But look, just the side of the mountain where some rocks are exposed. I'm going to paint that quite loosely, and then I'm going to do pretty much the same thing here on the other side, just to give it some character. You could, if you want, because I'm kind of seeing, You know what would be interesting? Let's add a bit of white and blue on top of what we already have here. It looks like this could almost benefit from becoming bluer. So, you know, I love experimenting. Let's see if we can make this a little bluer in some spots with some opaque paint. See, I really like the way this looks. Now, how long would it take you to do this for a full, large painting, right? And how much of trouble you'd go through to make these changes from a technique standpoint, right? Imagine this is like 5 times larger piece of paper. It's just so much slower and so much more complex. Here, you get these things down very simply, very directly. We painted 2 scenes. Essentially, the video has been running for about 11 minutes, and that's me talking and rambling my face off. If you just paint this, it'll be even faster. Now, look at this beautiful granulation pattern here. How nice is that, right? I absolutely love this. So, you know, go ahead, give this a try. It's the easiest exercise out there to actually get you practicing in painting full paintings, because this is a full scene, make no mistake. It's just, and by the way, hi, I'm not showing my face too much in this video. This is a full painting, make no mistake. It's just a very small one. How easy would it be to sketch a larger sketch right next to it, right? Just double the size and do the same thing, because all of the insights from here would feed you into the new attempt. If this was useful, by the way, and you still haven't joined the frustration-free watercolor course, I'm going to put a link below so you can join. Put in your email address, name if it asks you, and you watch the video. You get access to the course. Would love to see you paint freely like this. If you're a little more advanced, I have the Watercolor Realism course. I have, by the way, if you just want my feedback on your paintings, that's another service I do. I'm going to put one of the first links there is going to be to get your paintings critiqued by me. And lastly, I do want to send out huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm just showing you the palette, the messy 3-palette setup that I have here. If you want to receive credits at the end of the videos, do check that out. You also get access to some exclusive processes. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.